Welcome to Tuesday. It's December 13th, 2022. Your day weather podcast is being brought to you by Cowboy State Daily. Check them out at cowboystatedaily.com. Also being brought to you by WYDOT. Remember, when there's ice and snow, take it slow. Well, folks, the storm system is just getting itself put together. It jumped over the Continental Divide last night, and when that happens, the storm becomes disorganized, so the snow becomes a little bit spotty. The storm doesn't get going until it gets east of the divide, but it's there now. So the storm is going to be intensifying, the counterclockwise spin tightening up, and this is going to bring periods of snow, wind, and bitter cold, wind chills through Thursday, making travel extremely difficult over the next 36 hours. Very cold air settles in behind the storm. The snow that falls will stick around for a while. And then in the long term, this is something that we'll be talking about here for the rest of the week, is a potential cold wave for most of North America, most of the United States, the potential of it at least. We really see it coming mid to late next week, and it could go into Christmas weekend for most of the nation, if not all of it. We have seen temperatures, believe it or not, approaching minus 80 Fahrenheit in portions of Siberia over the last few days. There's a lot of cold air on that side of the globe, and it's going to come over onto this side later on into next week. And this is a concern, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. The satellite photo showing the storm now just getting itself organized, just about around just south of the Burlington, Colorado area. You can see the comma shape beginning to form. The storm system, as the time that the satellite photo was taken, was just getting itself going. So here we go with thunderstorms out on the leading edge of the front, the very cold, moist air getting wrapped upslope back in, and the Arctic air going to slip in on the back side of this. You can see on the radar imagery this morning, the thunderstorms out ahead of the system, and now the snow getting more organized. This snow right here is coming westward and will go up into the Continental Divide and will spread snow westward back into the region. There it is right there, the system as of early this morning. By tomorrow morning, it only goes to north central Nebraska, and by Thursday evening, it's going up into Wisconsin, and the flow around this system is coming right in from the north. So again, slow moving system that's going to be overhead for several days. But most of the snow is going to fall through the next 24 to 36 hours, although lingering mountain snows could go all the way into the day on Friday in this wraparound cold and moisture coming in from the north. Here are the snowfall areas. Again, take these numbers with a grain of salt, but this map has looked about the same every day for the last several days. The axis of heaviest snow is going to be along the Pine Ridge, on the north side of the Black Hills, and then into the higher mountain areas. But just enough snow, these moderate to heavy amounts, with blowing and drifting causing a lot of problems. And there's the wind. We can continue to see it. These are the wind chills by noon today. So sub-zero wind chills in the snow and the Arctic cold and the wind. Then as we get into the weekend, the low is still only into the upper Great Lakes. So we're still under a northwest wind aloft. And while this will mainly just produce snow showers and flurries in the mountains, this will keep temperatures on the plains very chilly, pretty cold, especially with fresh snow cover. Then in the long term, this is where things could get kind of crazy. This is by next Wednesday. High pressure builds and expands into the Gulf of Alaska, and we see the blocking situation again up into Greenland, and very cold air that will have come over from Siberia down into Canada is going to make an attempt to push further south. The question is, how far south is that push of cold air going to go? And is it going to be extensive? Well, the indications are that the potential certainly is there. Look at these temperature anomalies by next Wednesday. By next Wednesday, we've got this giant area of purple here. Now, some of these temperatures that are in this purple area are actually off this chart. They're actually as much as 55 degrees below the 30-year averages. And look at temperatures across the nation by the Friday before Christmas. This is crazy. Now, the cold could be further east. The cold may not get as far south. It may stay up to the north. But our confidence is growing. Some type of Arctic outbreak is going to be taking place next week, mid to late next week. It's going to be cold even before the Arctic outbreak. But if this Arctic outbreak takes place, we are talking about extensive sub-zero temperature readings, extensive sub-zero wind chills, prolonged cold for a lot of the United States and lots of Canada. Now this is by next Thursday and Friday. You see this gray line? This gray line represents where temperatures may go below zero. And now you're talking some temperatures there in some areas that aren't used to sub-zero temperatures. So these blue areas here, that lighter shade, you're talking more than 20 degrees below zero. So what we're showing you here is the potential for an Arctic outbreak mid to late next week that could go into Christmas. But there's some time for things to change, but we're certainly keeping an eye on it. And this is the next major weather feature we want to focus in on. Once we get done with this current storm, it's going to be the cold that we'll be talking about. Have yourself a good day. Get through the storm okay. We'll see you tomorrow.